An interesting week in Port Harcourt, a battle for the gavel with the governor at the center, who will win this push and shove. Another 2.2 billion naira to be spent in the 2023 fiscal year. While $2.5 billion fraud, federal government makes fresh request for the extradition of former Petroleum Minister Dizaini Alison Madueke. Also on Political Update today, article by Atiku on the 2023 polls. We have these and more on the program. I am Fisayo Ogunfuyi. Welcome. The National Executive Council is to present a supplementary budget of about 2.2 trillion naira to the National Assembly's approval for additional expenditure of that under the 2023 fiscal year. This follows the approval given by the Federal Executive Council to the request this Monday. We have this and other deliberations of the Council on Monday.
A usual entry in an unusual moment. It was a grand victorious entry as President Bola Tinubu chaired the Federal Executive Council meeting after a final confirmation of his job by the Supreme Court. For the Council members, celebrating their principal was in order.
Legal victory at the Supreme Court of Nigeria, economic victory on the P&ID matter and for the implicit trust in us as cabinet members. I now request you all to rise to a resounding round of applause to this resolute leader.
A recent online media report alleging the Chief of Staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, of misconduct received attention of the President. President Tinubu described this as only a campaign of calumny.
I have absolute confidence on the integrity of my Chief of Staff. All the insinuations, all campaign of calumny and insinuations should stop. The box stopped here.
And to the business of the day as the administration begins the process to secure legislative approval for additional expenditure under the 2023 fiscal year. The Council approved the request to present a supplementary budget of about 2.2 trillion naira.
And this supplementary budget is to fund urgent issues, including 605 billion for national defense and security. This is to sustain the gains made in security and to accelerate. And these are funds that are needed by the security agencies before the year runs out.
It is also to finance the repairs of some major roads and bridges nationwide, payment of 35,000 naira wage awards to federal employees, make-up of conditional cash transfer, and support to INEC for the conduct of the Bayelsa, Kogi and Imo State governorship elections, among other expenses. The Council equally approved process to begin for the construction of a long-awaited Lagos-Port Harcourt Cross-River Coastal Road, as well as the African Trans-Sahara Road spanning Enugu, Abakaliki, Abuja and to Cameroon.
And so Council deliberated and approved and then directed the Minister of Finance to expedite action on his own part.
Similarly, the Federal Capital Territory Administration also got approval for the construction of access roads for the ongoing Abuja Light Rail project, totaling 5.9 billion naira.
You are aware that Mr. President has given a directive that he will want to ride on the metro line. And now it will not be possible if there are no access roads to commuters, to communities around. Last week, Council did approve about 3, but this one has to do with Lot 4. Lot 4 has to do with communities around the airport, and then where you have the Hajj camp.
Meanwhile, Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, revealed that federal government assigned an MOU with a German geoscientific technology company to locate more mineral deposits in Nigeria and to advance the cause of solid mineral exploration.
Supported also by the German Chancellor, supported by our President, and I'm happy to tell you that no kobo commitment on the part of Nigeria. the company will come and establish its technology, its plant here, and move around the country, enable us to further explore all the other mineral deposits that we have.
Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, reports that the federal government's project to provide decent and quality jobs for young people by training 3 million technical talents has taken off on a sound footing with applications from across the country.
Now, the federal government has made a fresh request to the United Kingdom for the extradition of former Nigerian Petroleum Minister Diezani Alison Madueke. The request is said to be related to a $2.5 billion fraud involving the former minister who left Nigeria since 2015.
It will be recalled that on the 2nd of this month, the former Nigerian Petroleum Minister Diezani Alison Madueke was granted a bail under surety of £70,000 before leaving a Westminster court in London. And further terms were imposed, which included an 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew. And also she had to wear an electronic tag at all times. An informal inter-agency collaboration between the Nigerian EFCC and the UK's National Crime Agency are playing a pivotal role in the ongoing trial of Diezani Alison Madueke alongside two people, Pastor Agame Doye and Ayinde Olatimbo. However, the request by the federal government of Nigeria to extradite the former minister was not addressed at the hearing. Instead, a new date was fixed for another sitting on the 24th of February 2024. The court hearing today, presided by Judge Bowman-Gardner, only lasted 15 minutes, where the accused person confirmed her name as Diezani Alison Madueke, and so did others in the case. Even though it is a high-profile case at the Southwark Crown Court, London, all efforts to get the counsels representing in the court to make a comment on the hearing was not successful. Instead, only one of them provided the next court sitting date for February, adding that it might take 6 to 7 weeks to determine how long it will take for the judgment.
All right, coming back home now, it has not been an easy week for the state legislative arm of government in Rivers State. An impeachment procedure on the governor, Siminaye Fubara, was allegedly initiated, resisted, and some counter moves also on. The Rivers State governor, Siminaye Fubara, the impeachment process caused an uneasy calm in some parts of the metropolis, especially on Monday, and areas close to the House of Assembly complex in the areas of Monday as well. So a possible outbreak of security lapses was the concern of some of the residents spoken to, and they called on security agencies to be neutral in tackling the development and are hopeful that the PDP in the state will settle the matter, which has been described as a family affair. All right, this is the point where we now start the discussion on that issue. Where we've tagged the Rift and Rivers. Our correspondent Kingsley Amajiri will join us in a moment. But let me welcome first Mr. Haya King, a legal practitioner via Zoom from Port Harcourt. Thank you for joining us. How is the area? Is the area calm there in your state, as they say in police parlance?
Port Harcourt is calm, if you ask me, because I'm right close to the court premises, and Port Harcourt is really calm. There's actually no cause for alarm presently. People are going about their businesses, and the courts are sitting, and that's it. The position is like that. Nobody is running. There is no war in Port Harcourt. Everywhere is calm. People are at work. I am also at work.
I can see that as well. Let's bring in my colleague Kingsley Amajiri to bring us up to speed with that imbroglio that engulfed the state in the past, can we say 48 hours now. Kingsley, I can see you right there. You've been all day so far. So just bring us up to speed. What has been happening for viewers perhaps who have not been in the country or just tuning in, what has been happening in your state?
Well, Rivers State, especially Port Harcourt, since after that incident of yesterday, had remained calm, relatively calm. This early morning, we heard at the government house, we saw some youths who converged there to pay solidarity with the government of the day. But here at the State House of Assembly, you could see that normalcy had returned this part of the state. Prior to the today's event, the whole of this stretch of this road was locked down, and public offices here were not functional yesterday, but today there is return to normalcy. People are going about their normal businesses, but the concern among key residents is for the security agencies to remain on alert, especially a situation where you have some youth on the road. You know, managing the crisis at that level is very critical. While it has been described as a family affairs, the reconciliations could take place at that top level, but at the lower level where you have youth on the road, there is need for the security also to be vigilant. We also heard reports this afternoon where there are reported sporadic shootings in the air by some youth. These are emerging concerns which the security agencies also need to take into consideration in managing the present crisis in Port Harcourt. But overall, the city is calm at the moment.
Maybe we'll come back to you just in a moment, but let me bring Mr. Hayaking back. Can you separate the fact from the fiction in the movie we are currently watching in your state?
Well, it's actually a movie. It's actually a movie. The fact is that there is crisis between the governor and the former governor. There is actually crisis. There is a rift. Before now, some of us thought it was a joke. I never believed. Like 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago, we've been hearing all manner of rumors. I never believed it until yesterday. Actually, yes, the fact is that there is a rift between them. And I've also seen the video. Yesterday, there was also an attempt to impeach the governor. I saw the video that was recorded in the night, and in a place that looks like Rivers State House of Assembly. I saw a woman in front, and the man behind was actually presenting the bill, notice of impeachment on the governor. I saw that one also. I think it's viral. That is actually the fiction is that we don't know what is actually the problem between both of them, because they have been best of friends in the past 1 year, 2 years, but I'm told that their relationship dates back to over 8 years, over 12 years. I don't know, but that's what we are told, that their relationship is a very, very, lasting one. But right now, it is actually frosty. It is actually something like the guy, Chinua Achebe, said that the white man has put a knife in the cooler that hold us together, and the cooler has fallen apart. And so long the cooler has fallen apart, that things can no longer hold anymore. Somebody was discussing with me this morning, and he said that even if they reconcile, which is also what James Lamagiri has alluded to, even if they reconcile, that they cannot be the same again.
Well, we agree to disagree as far as politics is concerned, but from your legal perspective and all that, moving forward, even in terms of our general politics, can we run this disagreements perhaps in a more civil manner, especially talking about our political elite, not bringing this tension that Kingsley alluded to, gunshots in the air and all that?
Well, I also heard that there was gunshots in the air. Well, we have been hearing gunshots in the air before now. Which the gunshot in the air in Rivers State is a very common thing. In Nigeria, the other day I think we saw people that were escorting cars, a shotgun in the air, and they were arrested or something. There was also security attached to one private person or so. We used to hear gunshots in the air. Police used to shoot. Criminals also used to shoot. Unlike what we had before, 2020, 2001, 2, 3, 4, when we had a crisis in Rivers State, it's not like the same thing that we have today. But what is happening between both of them is an unfortunate thing, and which I think and believe that both of them should sort out, because they know where they are coming from. Like I said, I am told their relationship even dates back before the former governor became a governor, that their relationship dates back before then. So I think since they have such a relationship, politics should not divide them. Politics should not be something that will separate good friends. Even when this other one, the former governor, was not planning to be governor, he was not also planning to be governor, that they have known themselves. So why should they quarrel now?
All right, let's Kingsley, if you are still there, very quickly, so that we'll bring you in before we close shop. Kingsley, you've been there all this while. Has there been any formal communication from the the leadership of the State House of Assembly in terms of when next to sit and hold general proceedings? Now that I understand the chambers there have been affected by fire and all that. So did you get any communication from the State House of Assembly, or everybody has closed shop now, still looking?
We gathered yesterday, there are two factions now in the State House of Assembly. The other faction that earlier sat and issued impeachment notice to the governor had directed the clerk of the House to serve him the impeachment notice. That was the last we heard from them. Whereas the other faction that elected Edison Ehe as their own speaker said they had adjourned indefinitely. Those are the communications that is in the public domain for now. Like I established earlier on, the assembly here is locked. We still have security men, policemen that are stationed at the entrances of the State House of Assembly. There are no formal communications. Of course, politicking, there may be undercurrents going on among the members of the assembly, but it is not in the public domain for now.
For being a part of the program today, and please keep safe while you are there, especially in the context of these gunshots that we heard earlier. And let me quickly thank Mr. Haya King for your contributions today. As always, I would like also for you to keep safe as we, if possible, in the course of the week, probably come back to you for your perspectives, hoping that, as you said, good friends will come back to the table. Thank you for being a part of the program.
I'm not getting the sound very clearly anymore. I don't know. I'm not getting the sound very clearly anymore.
Just thanking you for being a part of it. Thank you very much, Mr. Haya King. Thank you. All right, moving on. The candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the February 25th 2023 presidential election, Atiku Abubakar says he will not leave the political arena after the Supreme Court's verdict of October 26, 2023 that affirmed the victory of President Bola Tinubu. This was at a joint press briefing with the leadership of the PDP at the party's headquarters in Abuja.
PDP presidential candidate in the 2023 general election and the leadership of the party had promised to wait for the outcome of their pleas to the Supreme Court. The Apex Court last Thursday affirmed the victory of APC and its candidate, President Bola Tinubu. This, the candidate believes, is not the end of the journey, as the former vice president says he remains in the field with his political shield remaining up and strong. Atiku Abubakar promised to continue to work for the return of political and economic restructuring, which he says the country needs.
In life, we sometimes face challenges and disappointments, but that should not deter us from pursuing the overall objective of our great party, the PDP. I therefore want to appeal to all members here and elsewhere to have faith and confidence in this great party.
Acting National Chairman of the PDP, Umar Damagum, said the party is not deterred by the outcome of the Presidential Election Petition Court, which the Supreme Court laid to rest.
And I call on all PDP members across the country that we are resolute.
He assured that the PDP is set to reinforce its commitment towards future electoral victory.
The off-cycle elections are just over a week away, and INEC has published a comprehensive information of collected and uncollected permanent voters' cards (PVCs) in Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi states on a polling unit basis. The information also gives the distribution of polling units by local government areas, registration areas and wards, names of polling units, their code numbers, number of registered voters, and numbers of collected as well as uncollected PVCs. A statement by INEC National Commissioner for Information, Sam Olumekun, says out of the 1,056,862 registered voters in Bayelsa State, 1,017,613 have collected their PVCs. In Imo State, 2,318,919 have collected their PVCs out of the 2,419,922 voters. While in Kogi State, out of 1,932,654,000 voters, registered voters, 1,833,160 have collected their PVCs. And that concludes our political update today. Keep it safe, and between now and when next we meet on Friday, when we'll be trying to do a full preview of the off-cycle elections in Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi states, please play your politics for the greater good, and keep it locked on the Nigerian Television Authority for news, reviews, previews, and interviews. Bye-bye now.